to start a national tour. We're always delighted to see him back at the big desk with or without a guitar. Say hello to Mr. Chris Isaak. What did you make of Elton's outburst? Was it...
I'm not touching that. I just couldn't believe you played it. Does that go out on TV here? You can say that?
Well, we didn't.
That
Elton
rude
did.
word.
But I mean...
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Apparently there's a clause saying if you have blue tinted glasses you can say whatever you like.
But I guess his point, I suppose, that if, you know, you're paying to see someone live, do you use DAT tapes and stuff when you...
No, I don't. You know, we did, when we played here at that football match, they had a tape for background tape, but it's me singing, which is the most nerve-wracking, because if anything goes wrong, like I've been playing with the same band. We played live for 20 years, and if anything goes wrong, I mean, the band just follows me. If I drop a word or something, I just keep singing. But when you play to a tape, if you get off at all, you're screwed. And right before I went out, the little girl told, I'm standing backstage, and you're waiting to walk out this little entranceway, and there's a bunch of little girls with flashlights that were going to dance behind us. They had all their little black leotards, and one of the little girls is smiling at me, and I go, "Hey, this is going to be fun." She goes, "Did you hear what happened to Billy Idol?" And I didn't know, and no one had told me, because they were like, "Don't tell the American about Billy Idol." Ixnay. And she goes, "Billy Idol went out and his tape didn't start." And then her friend goes like this, and I'm, "Come on, Chris. Come on out."
Give me that torch. Bang.
Felt pretty confident. You're also going to be singing at the IndyCar ball in a couple of weeks. Are you a motor racing fan?
You know, I drive really slow. I do. I know. Like, I always see like rock stars or actors up there getting pulled over for going like 200 miles an hour. I drive like, in the city, if it's 25 miles an hour, I'm 22.
Okay.
I'm the guy that people always, as they pass, they always look like, I thought it'd be an old, much older. I just.
But see, because I imagine you in a big sort of cruising mobile. I don't see you in a little Daihatsu.
64 Chevy.
Oh, well, see, you seem like that. And you don't speed in them, do you? Just take your time.
I take my time. You know, something I got to say, I was watching from, I just got to say, you look great on TV, and so do you. The guy is okay, but I mean,
What's
right here,
happened?
this is working, because I was watching backstage.
There you go, Fee.
Thank you. A bit of feng shui for us.
Yeah, exactly.
If I was surfing the channel, I could turn the sound off and watch this show.
And you know what? You probably enjoy it quite a lot more.
You've coincided your trip to Australia with the election. Obviously, you're that excited about it.
Yes.
Yes.
Chris, have you ever, just because at the moment in obviously the American election's on too, and Bruce Springsteen and R.E.M., they get behind parties and get up and perform, have you ever felt the urge to do that?
Number one, nobody cares what I say, and why should they? I'm a singer, and it's just amazing to me. Like, every once in a while, you listen and you go, "Gee, I didn't realize that singers know everything." I met a lot of these people, and they're nice people, but they're as dumb as I am. And the idea that, that they know any more about who to vote for than a butcher. I trust a butcher more, because he actually has a job where he has to actually make something happen. I mean, a lot of times people in show business, you know what it's like backstage. You go, "Oh, that's the guy who's the actor," or something. And they're like, "Sober him up, put him on it." And then he's going, "Vote for Larry."
But Chris, just on that, I mean, I can understand, when Bruce Springsteen or Bono or someone says, "I'd like to speak on your behalf," that's fine. What happens when, Elton John or Janet Jackson or someone says, "You know what, I want to speak on someone's behalf"? Do you get a polite phone call saying, we don't need that kind of help? Would that kind of stuff happen?
No one. Elton John's never offered to speak for me, but if he does... Actually, if Elton or Janet wants to speak for me, I'd love it.
Absolutely.
I would like Elton John to be my spokesman. Yes. I can just imagine, Chris says, "Fuck off."
We should mention you can actually say that word on tape. You can't say it.
Hi, kids.
There goes the young.
It's a very slow car. It's fine.
It means something different in the States, right?
It does.
Do you think there's a point in a celebrity's life at which you sort of come to a crossroads, and you can either take the turning to to still being nice.
For good or evil.
Yes. Do you have that purpose?
Chris, at one point, he just turned evil.
Well, did you? You don't seem to have it. You could be tricking us, and you could be beating your makeup girl backstage.
I think
we don't know.
I think everybody's more twisted. I believe that everybody's more twisted than they appear on TV. I used to say I had a the TV show, Chris
Yes.
Isaak show.
You still have it here.
You still have it.
People
yes.
go, oh, is that really like your life? I said, yeah, it's like my life, but they make me nicer, funnier,
Right.
and they clean me up. I say, steal my parking place at the supermarket on Saturday night and see if
Yes.
I'm the fun guy on TV. I may be. If you catch me on the right night, I may be, but I also might be a jerk or something.
Yeah.
It's like they clean you up for TV.
Have you ever had, with this, obviously the Madonna and the Elton sort of sparring thing going on, have you ever had that with another musician?
I'm sorry, I didn't even hear your question. Your eyes are just...
Can I say, these guys...
Look at her eyes. I know you get a close-up on her eyes. Her eyes are just dancing.
We'll leave the two of you if you want.
So just tumbling there. I'm sorry, what was your question?
Have you ever had a fight with another musician, like in public?
No, I went out with some. I don't usually date people who are famous. I've usually gone out with people who work at a supermarket or something like that, or just have it. I haven't gone
Well,
out
you
with
go
famous
out
people.
with someone who works in a supermarket.
Yeah, I would. I mean,
You
I
would.
I
But you don't.
no, I mean, I have never gone out with people who are like. I'm not dating famous people.
But not
usually.
even like in a dating sense. Like, have you ever met someone else and they've rubbed you up the wrong way?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had that happen, but it's and I've even had it where I went out. I did go out with somebody who was, and I don't want to name because I don't want to make them feel bad, but I went out with somebody who's famous, and they were went out in the press, and they're a comedian, and they went out later on. Don't guess. They went out later on, and somebody said, "Did you see this?" The girl went out and she's doing like a whole comedy routine about about you, and I said, like, do I come off good? They go, not so much. And the only thing I can say is like, I had never really seen her comedy routine, and I just knew her like a girlfriend, for when we went out on some dates, and it didn't bug me. It was part of her work. I figured she just was like making jokes.
And you could write a song, you fat bitch. You did a bad thing.
Get Elton John to write the lyrics.
So I didn't want to start in with her because she's funnier and smarter than me.
You didn't want us to guess who is. Stop dropping clues if you don't want us to guess
We'll get
who
that.
it is.
Just
Roseanne,
quickly,
wasn't
a
it?
Christmas album.
Bingo.
A
Who
Christmas
is
album.
Roseanne?
That's
Christmas
right.
album.
Roseanne.
Dolly and Kenny, Reba McEntire, Garth Brooks.
No.
There's quite a a proud heritage here.
Oh, okay. I thought you just thought all those people are on my
Oh.
record.
It's just you, buddy.
That's just me.
Have you always been intrigued by the Christmas album concept?
I always like Christmas records. Dean Martin, Bing Crosby, Elvis. So those are kind of my favorite ones. And I wrote like 5 new songs, but I wanted the whole record. My idea was very traditional in that you put it on and it's background music. You're eating dinner and stuff, and then as your relatives drink more and more and start arguing about stuff that you don't want to hear, you just crank my record up.
Drown out the
Yeah,
argument.
and it's good. And also on the back of my record, you have it.
right there.
We have
On the
you.
back of it, I put a little thing here as a tag. It says to and from. So I figured people come in at like midnight the night before Christmas, and they go, "Give me 6 of those things." And they just,
That's a great idea.
to Uncle Larry. There you go.
The perfect impulse buy.
Yeah,
And you'll be doing some songs from that on the tour?
yeah.
It's a bit
I
early.
will.
Can you do Christmas songs in
I'll
October?
throw them in. I'll throw them at the end of the set. People will be really drunk. They will go,
Yes.
"Huh?
And just really,
Was that Old Lang Syne he just sang?"
and really quickly, Dirty Shame, the John Waters film,
Yeah.
which I guess comes out here reasonably soon. Was that fun to make?
It was very fun. It was the cast of insane people.
Right.
Tracy Ullman, who's really, really funny in real life. So, like, Tracy would get in a van at 6 in the morning with me, and she'd be just cracking jokes. And Johnny Knoxville. Now, does Johnny Knoxville, do you know who he is?
No.
Yes.
Who is he?
He's a guy who, like, how do I put this? He started off by shooting himself through he bought a bulletproof vest, and he wanted to see, is it really bulletproof? So he went out. No, he went out and he filmed. This is his way to get on TV. He filmed it and he shot himself in the chest in a bulletproof vest. And people said, "That's wild. Can you do a bunch of stuff like that?" So then, like, he's on with bottle rockets, sticking them down his pants, and I mean, every week is some insane insane stuff.
So, kids at home?
And so he was saying, "Oh, he was in this movie. I wouldn't." He was in this movie, and like we'd get up at 6 o'clock, and I'd go, "How long you been up?" He goes, "I never went to bed."
with rockets down your pants.
My
Was it bulletproof, by the way? Was it?
it was bulletproof,
It was
but
bulletproof.
it knocked him down. And he said, right as he was getting ready to shoot, he realized he bought the cheapest one he could find.
Well, the film is
A Dirty Shame.
A Dirty
John
Shame,
Waters.
and your national tour kicks off tomorrow in Melbourne and then right around the country.
Tomorrow?
I believe so. You can book your ticket check. In the meantime, would you please thank Mr. Chris Isaak again?